And now, for everyone's favorite time of the week, the Face-Off Circle. And welcome to the Face-Off Circle. I'm your host, Dark Calypso, and with today is Andrews, the owner of Chicago, Gladiator Out, the owner of Boston, and Saber again, the GM of New Jersey. And of course, with me actually this time is our music guy and the owner of New Jersey, Dugan. Today we're going to be talking about Week 1, what happened, what we think about everything, as well as maybe some Week 2 projections. We'll see as conversation goes on. First thing we're going to go over is big Week 1 surprises. We're going to start off with Andrews.
Week 1 surprises. Everybody thought on San Jose, nobody thought they could even go 5-5, really. I mean, they really turned out to do pretty good. So that's my surprise.
All right, Gladiator.
I'm going to say the Islanders. I honestly thought they'd be better than they were.
Fair enough. Saber?
If I refer to the preseason podcast, I said Washington wasn't going to be anything. 9-1, so much for that.
And Dugan.
Well, I'm going to take a different approach. Rather than a team surprising me, who the hell is IBBZ? This guy is tearing apart the league. This psychotic. Where's Hopkins at? Where's his point production? Nobody's even competing with this guy. Where was he last season?
Actually, that brings up the next thing I was going to mention. Yeah, IBBZ, out of nowhere. We don't. He's taken the top of the chart in everything for forwards in point scoring, plus minus everything. Where is Hopkins? Where is Haxby? Where's Haxby? Freaking, this guy is dominating. Even Primetime didn't even compete. I was projecting that guy to do amazing. So, IBBZ, what do you guys think? Andrews?
Well, I had him on my team for part of last year, and he's a good player. He wanted his brother to play on the team. Didn't work out there. I ended up having to trade him, but yeah, he's a good player, so.
Gladiator?
Honestly, I played against him this week. We held him to 1 point. I just think it's the defense's first week, really, that's kind of helping him out.
Saber?
I don't really know much about the guy, besides the fact that he's on all the points. I haven't really played against him, so I don't know his play style, so I can't really comment on anything about the guy.
All right, Dugan, we've already heard from you about it before.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you feel free to say anything else you want to say about it.
Well, you said where's Haxby? I mean, Haxby is in second place for points, but fucking 9 points behind the guy. Where is everybody else that's supposed to be on the top here? Longton's not even top 15 for points, goals. Hopkins ain't nowhere to be found. I'm wondering if he's not been available or something. But, I mean, nobody is really where I expected them to be right now. The league is taking complete different twists.
You don't mind me jumping in here. You got to remember, Longton switched to D halfway through the week.
Yeah, he did. I remember seeing that.
Oh, I was actually unaware of that, so that explains that.
Sounds like a problem a team I know of that had with New Jersey and a goalie problem. Had to keep switching back and forth from goalie, center, and I played defense for 2 games because somebody decided to bail out on everybody first game.
Alright, so, a lot of teams have done well. Quick examples being Pittsburgh, Washington, Toronto, St. Louis, Phoenix, Colorado. Well, we've also seen quite a few teams have done really bad. Philadelphia, New York, Tampa Bay, Nashville, Minnesota, Edmonton. Do you guys think that the teams that are doing good and bad, you saw them coming, or maybe some of them not so predictable? Andrews?
Minnesota Wild, he had problems from the get-go. I'd been talking to him, so that kind of come in. Nashville's probably the biggest surprise, but then again, Central Division, actually is a pretty tough division if you look right now, so that's about it.
Gladiator.
Yeah, no, Nashville is a big surprise in the West for me. In the East, I'd have to say Tampa Bay. I thought they'd be better than their start, but like I said, week 1.
Saber.
I wouldn't take Nashville as a surprise. I mean, they're 4-4-2. Those 2 overtime losses, that's still a point they get. And being 4-4 in a division that tough, they're not really out of it. So we'll see what happens.
And Dugan.
Well, my biggest surprises in the league, well, they're not even really surprises. Montreal just kind of fell off the bandwagon because they had ownership problems from the get-go, I believe.
Montreal went 5-5 on the week.
Yeah, I know. They could have been better if they didn't have all their ownership problems to start off the week, though. Tampa Bay, I kind of could predict wasn't going to be the hottest. I mean, they still went 4-5-1. The whole East really did good besides Philly and New York. Those were the only 2 teams that really fell off. Philly, fair warning to everybody listening, do not let Scarpa host your games when they are the home team. Just letting everybody know this. You're going to lag, and you're most likely going to lose.
Yeah, there was only really 4 teams that did really poorly this first week. Being Philly, New York, Islanders, and Edmonton and Minnesota. Only 2 games each that they won. Everybody else did fairly well. Vancouver, everybody else got at least 4 wins. Some teams got some overtime losses that pushed them above where they would be normally for only having 4. Fair enough.
Yep.
Next topic is going to be, I'm going to avoid goaltenders because goaltenders is all looking confusing right now. I'll open up the floor here. Andrews, anything you would like to say?
Just a quick comment on the last section. Actually, both New York teams seemed to struggle last week. The Rangers went 3-7. Out of the gate, they didn't seem like they were gonna do that bad.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, I didn't even notice the Rangers went 3-7. Wow, good call there. All right, Gladiator.
No, just like I said, Rangers, Islanders. Yeah, it's kind of shocking to me. Like for me personally, we started out 3-0, and then we just had no shows on Boston. That's what ruined our record.
Dugan.
I'm going to be a little bit of a dick here and call KingHockeyPuck out on something, which I shouldn't do, but I'm just doing it to be a dick.
Ready for suicide by cop, everybody?
Suicide by cop. But the post he made on the website about commissioners getting paid actual money by the players, like charging a fee to have everybody play. As soon as I saw the post, I immediately kind of snapped on KingHockeyPuck a little bit because I've been a part of 2 leagues where the league actually fell apart. Trying to charge players to play their league. It's something that really doesn't work. It's something that's not commended. So, I approached KingHockeyPuck about it. So for anybody else who was thinking the same thing I am, he was doing it as a joke. Obviously, one of the poll answers is hell yes or yes. He doesn't even give you a no option, which means obviously he's just kidding around. But, that's pretty much what I thought about the situation.
I'm all for the league, getting donations if they need help, like keeping the payments up on the website. But I don't think forcing people to have a mandatory fee to play is going to help unless you're going to dedicate yourself to being 100% the commissioner all the time, which means he would have to literally stop playing other games for fun and just focus on taking care of everything for the league. If he wants to get paid to do it, that's the only way it's going to be ever acceptable. Because if we can't get a hold of him because he's doing other things, then he shouldn't be getting paid to do it. All right, Saber, you're up.
Well, let's get away from that. Donation thing sounds good. I'm all for donations for the website, but I want to talk about how well Pittsburgh's defense is holding up at 7-3. I didn't expect them to do this well with only really having one solid defensive line, but it seems like their whole team is doing really well for them. What do you guys think?
I think they are doing just fine.
Gladiator?
I would agree with that. I was actually surprised by it too, but as you're going to find out weeks go in, are they really as strong as they are, or are they just kind of first week competition? I keep reiterating that, but first week everybody's trying to figure out what their team has, right?
Well, that was what preseason was supposed to be for.
Well, nobody really showed up for preseason games, as you've seen by a lot of frustration on owners' parts. Where's our players, right?
Yeah, all right.
Oh, their defense, they're good, but they're up and down. I mean, right now you look at their defense, they have Gimmicks Pones, he's a +8. JJ, 4NF, +6. But Kanji's a -1. He played 5 games. And Notable Terrible T is a -5 in 3 games. And then there's Snoopy, +12, as usual.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna do kind of like a team breakdown. We're gonna go over every team where they're at, so this way everybody can get a few things to say about each team, and also all the teams get recognition, so they cannot complain about the fact that we don't talk about them. So we'll go from top to bottom. Going Atlantic, East, Central, West. I'll leave annotations to let you guys know when your division is going to be talked about. I'm not going to go down to the individual teams as far as the annotations go. So we'll start off in Atlantic, starting with the best team in Atlantic right now, which is the Pittsburgh Penguins. We already just talked about them, but we'll talk about them a little bit more. They went 7-3 on the week with no overtime losses.
Well, this kind of overlaps with my team, but they traded away Demores and Fournier to me for a couple picks and Poner, man. So their team's going to be looking a little bit different this upcoming week.
Well, they're going to be probably a solid team regardless of the trades they made. Sounds like they're beefing their defense up a little bit.
Saber?
I think their goaltending is going to be a problem going later on because their number one starter, Chiari, right now, has a .743 save percentage, and if you want to be a good goaltender in this league and have your team be successful, you got to get that up.
All right, Dugan?
Not to be biased, but Barone actually stole my words, kind of. So I agree with him on that. And Snoopy, I'd say maybe try starting Magic Saves a couple more times than try next week. Forward-wise, Sick QC is actually doing quite successful for them, as well as Smiley Crew. Sick was actually on my team last season. That's completely what I expected of him. Kanji's kind of disappointing me a little bit. I mean, the guy has 51 hits already. May I mind everybody, which is crazy in 5 games, but he is a -1, and that's definitely not helping. It's not a good sign.
All right. So the next team on our week 1 list is the New Jersey Devils. Seeing it's a team that has an owner in this call, or conversation, I'm going to let him retort first to explain himself. Then the rest of us will get to talk. So the New Jersey Devils went 5 wins, 4 losses, 1 overtime loss. Dugan, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I have to say I'm quite disappointed. A lot of the problems from that week were based on availability of the players. My team didn't really start getting serious there until about the end of the week. I mean, my GM Saber was bouncing all over the place. He played a few games at goalie, a few games at D, a few games at center. He didn't really have a place that week. We resolved the goaltending problem, bringing Brodeur in, which, as all of you know, is Cubo X33. We plan on him taking the full role as the starter, 7 games a week. There was a lot of disappointments in the players that we have. I mean, people weren't excelling to the point where I had hoped. But I think all in all this week, things are going to turn around a lot more, being able to keep the same lines together and actually having people playing where they're supposed to be.
All right. Andrews?
Yeah, their team's struggled a little bit, but they start to... Oh god, you can just edit that out. I totally froze.
Yep, go for it.
Alright. The New Jersey Devils had a decent week. I know they struggled a little bit. They made a trade with me there at the end of the week. I don't really know much about your team. You pretty much self-explained it.
All right, Gladiator.
Yeah, he explained it pretty well. Like you said, adding Brodeur will help his team immensely. But could have a little problem with defense. Guys showing up, always a problem. But yeah, team looks good moving forward.
All right, Saber, I know you're on the same team, so you still get to retort, so go for it.
Yeah, I get to retort. Looking at our team, we had some problems in the inner workings with players not being confident in our abilities to put the teams together, and we struggled to find our lines, but we finally think that we have a system that'll work, and hopefully moving forward will put us to the top past Pittsburgh. We already beat them once. Looking forward to doing it a bunch more.
All right. One last thing I want to mention real quick before we continue about Brodeur.
Here we go.
Hey, no, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, gotta watch him. He's a good goalie. He has a few anger problems. So, my tip to you is, if you want him to keep playing for you and not request a trade, keep him happy. Next team is the New York Rangers that went 3-7 on the week with no overtime losses. Andrews?
Definitely seemed like getting goals on the board was a struggle. They only had 21 goals for. They also only had 30 goals against, so it seemed like they played a lot of low-scoring games. So we'll probably see if Christo tries to get something going with the offense this upcoming week.
Gladiator?
Yeah, Rangers are one of those teams like us Bruins. We'll win them by 1 goal or lose them by 1 goal. The Rangers look good. This week should be different. They picked up a defensive key. A couple boards they picked up too. So they're going to be a low-scoring team all year as long as their goaltending keeps up their percentage they're keeping at.
All right, Saber?
Goaltending looks like they're struggling pretty bad with average between Machiavelli and SG. Their goals against is 3. They're going to want to get that down to probably 1.5 between 2, even though as hard as that is in this league, you have to have good goaltending. And there's only really 2 standout players for New York, and I hope they don't play on the same line, because that'll really keep them from spreading out the points and helping each other's teams out. And Christo and AL, they're going to have a tough time moving ahead if they keep playing like this.
All right, the Philadelphia Flyers, 2-6-2, which gives them the same amount of points as the Rangers. Andrews.
Well, start off with a ownership change, and Scarpa, he's trying to bring pieces in, he's trying to make trades, but nothing really seemed to work last weekend. They struggled pretty heavily.
Gladiator?
Yeah, just like he said, ownership change halfway through the week didn't really help. We played them on Thursday, and we got kind of lucky. Not gonna lie, their defense is pretty good back there. It's just, ownership change hopefully turns it around for them.
Whoa, 4 goalies? What crap. Okay, I'm gonna be the goalie asshole today, but these guys average 4.38 goals against. Oh, you gotta get that together. Like that's just the main point I'm gonna hit everything. A .746 average save percentage. Their best goalie's only played 1 game, so I can't really say anything towards him, and he's a center anyways. And I think you better be looking for another goalie if you've got a center playing that's your best goaltender. It's quite a problem for you guys going ahead. So my suggestion to you, find a good goaltender or just search for free agents until you find a decent one, because these 4 guys aren't doing it for you.
Dugan?
Well, there are 2 actual goaltenders, Hawks fans and Quick. If I remember correctly, we had Quick on our team last year. He wasn't quite the best on our team either. But their 2 starting goaltenders definitely are struggling. Another problem I think they're going to run into this coming week is Scarpa already has 9 games played. He's only going to be able to play 1 game this week, or else he's probably going to be facing suspension time. They also have a center who played 6 games, a right wing who played 6 games, and not to mention the minus column. The team overall right now is a minus 58. That is something that needs to be improved completely.
58?
What the hell?
58?
Good pull. Good pull.
Oh, wow. Shit. That is terrible. Alright, next team. The New York Islanders. So, I'm putting my foot in my mouth here, because last week I was saying New York Islanders are going to be one of the top teams, they're going to dominate, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with Rangers. I'm fucking retarded, clearly. I'm just going to say that right now. So they went 2-7-1 on the week. Andrew's opinion.
They had 20, it seems with their 3 goalies they have right now, 29 goals against and 26 goals for. But you look at goaltending, Grismatic, good last year. This year, he's played 4 games, 5 goals against average with a .71 save percentage. He needs to step up his game.
Well, he kind of did have good goaltending in front of him almost all season last season. Between Philly's defense, and as much as everybody might like to discredit us, Buffalo's defense was pretty solid too. So, that being said, Gladiator.
Yeah, as far as the Islanders go, and I know the owner personally, his management didn't show up last week. Obviously, Waggle didn't have box. He's played 6 games also, so he's kind of in the suspension area. No goaltending too. They made a few trades. I traded my defenseman for a 4th round draft pick. But other than that, if they can just shore up their defense and their goaltending, they'll be an awesome team.
Saber?
Well, somebody had to take my goalie column from me. It's my go-to thing, but a minus at 59. That's just, you can't, that's too sloppy. You guys gotta play better. Work the puck, dump and chase, man. I always push my team to play dump and chase because I find defensemen being so aggressive in this league that it works. You'll catch them off and you can get a quick goal. My suggestion to you, start playing practice. Go to the practice mode, get your team together, make a club, do something, get your chemistry up, and you guys will be alright.
Alright, Dugan.
Back on to goaltending. I mean, Grismatic, what happened to this guy? Complete wash up this season. Not that it's his fault. The guy hasn't been on a single team that he really can play with. I mean, shitty defense on Montreal he had originally. He had a chance to come to New Jersey, but, crazy trade offer was turned down by Bodie. I ended up going to Minnesota. Hated Minnesota. Gets over to the Islanders, and his stats along the journey have just went down the shitter. But a couple more things. Their offense, Mystical Mormon and Leclerc, 5 games apiece. Mormon only has 10 points and Leclerc only has 6. Those are 2 guys they really need to step up, especially Mystical Mormon. Mystical Mormon, my advice to you is stop playing Ultimate Team, even if you're 14th in the world. Start playing some clubs, my friend.
Alright, so that's it for the Atlantic Division. We're now moving east to the infamous Washington Capitals. 9-1-0 for overtime losses. Andrews.
Look at their goals for, 51, goals against 25. That's 26 difference. They've definitely been dominating. And I know they had a dispute during the week with Pittsburgh over some computer scoring. If I'm correct, I think the league favored with Pittsburgh, and that's where their loss came from. But overall, there doesn't seem to be any downsides to their team right now.
Gladiator.
Yeah, no, they're solid all in all. We played them this week, like I said. Kind of played very defensively. Told my guys, we might not win this, but let's not let 10 goals get put up against us. We lost 2-1. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. They got a pretty good team.
Dugan?
Well, my opinion with this team is obviously, come on, plus 114. They have 1 player on the entire team with a minus, which is B-Red 18, who started off his mystical journey of SHL Season 2 on my team. Had to trade him away because he had some kind of personal grudge against me. But, besides that, their team's just completely stellar. The only bad spot on their whole team has to be Titletown in net. And the only reason he's really,
For all of you who didn't hear that, that was Saber saying asshole in the background.
Titletown, the only reason I think his stats are really showing up as shit is because teams aren't taking many shots against him when the game is completely played in the other team's zone the whole game. I mean, he's averaging what, like maybe 5 to 12 shots a game, if that, on him. I mean, when half of those are going in, yeah, that sucks, but what are you going to do? The game is completely dominated in the offensive zone. Washington is playing the best kind of hockey you can play, which is the best kind of defense is a solid offense.
All right. And Saber.
Austin, no, that's not how it goes. It's defense wins championships.
No, defense won championships in the 90s. That's bullshit. Why do you think the Sabres don't win? Because Lindy Ruff is a defensive coach.
No, it's because they don't have a defense. Let's not talk about the Sabres because I'll tear you a new one about my own team. All right?
Here's how the quote goes. Offense wins games, defense wins championships.
There it is.
Well, they're winning games.
But they're not going to win a championship if their defense can't help out their goaltending.
Correct.
Moving along.
Moving along, what did I say? I was done. Do you hear this kid? Calypso, he's trying to take your job.
Right?
It's a mutiny.
The Face-Off Circle, now hosted by Dugan. No.
Live from
Watchers
his studio basement.
0.
Subscribers drops to 0.
I would unsubscribe.
You asshole.
So do you have anything else, or moving on to the next team?
I'm just scanning over the team real quick, looking at stats, and
There's nothing.
we were talking about Longton earlier, struggling in points. Even though he switched to a defenseman, to have 14 assists, I mean, he's got he's got 7 games played, which is definitely over the limit for a week. Well, no, is defenseman 7 this year?
Yeah, defense
Correct,
is
yeah.
7, goal is 7.
So he's right at his edge, but for 19 points in 7 games as a defenseman, that's pretty good. And he's got a really decent shooting percentage. I mean, he's got 17 shots, but 5 goals for a defenseman. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Watch for him to be top defenseman this year.
All right. So next is Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think there's any surprises here. 7-3-0 so far. Andrews?
Definitely not the same Toronto as last season, but I think Chara has taken this team and made it pretty decent. We'll see this week because he did trade away Hopkins for BIP, and Hopkins is supposed to be one of the best players in this league, and seeing he got, the trade here is Thawing Orb, WT BIP, first pick, 4th pick, for Hopkins, owned by Chumley in hockey. That's a fairly large trade, so we'll see how that factors into this upcoming week.
All right, Gladiator?
Solid team all in all. I think their weakest point would probably be their goaltending. And also, too, it all depends on who hosts their games. Pretty laggy on some connections, smooth on others.
All right, Saber?
Looking at the team right now, looks like what's this guy's, Ornithopers? I can't see all of it. But the team at 20 points is really helping his team out. But he's only got +1, so him being on the ice might be a problem being a +1. Kind of even, but you want it to be higher if you're the leading point scorer on your team. Looking at this, they only have 1 center, so that might become a problem later on with maybe face-offs on power plays or shorthanded situations. Not having more centers might hinder you later on in the season, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Dugan?
Well, Barone, if you look at their statistics, actually, they have 1 guy listed as center, but 3 people playing center. The other 2 being J. Rose and I. Austin, which actually have quite high face-off percentages at 57% and 59%. The thing about this team is they're never going to compare to Toronto from last season. I don't think anybody really can. The team last year was just stellar. They knew how to perform, and they all had insane chemistry. Not saying that these guys don't have chemistry. I'm just saying I'm not quite sure they can live up to expectations from last season.
All right.
I just want to throw something in real quick before we start the next one about Toronto.
Yep.
The fact that you're Toronto might hinder you, just as a heads up. I mean, they've started off good a couple years in the NHL. We all know that they'll start off strong, and then, well, we all know what happens after that.
All right, next team is Montreal. They went 5-5-0. Andrews, go.
Well, Montreal, talking with Bodie a lot, he's pretty interesting to try to trade with. I know he kind of didn't understand fully the rules with that at the beginning, but I know he had his friends who joined the league, and he's been picking up some of them. He had a lot of defense to start the week, but he started to struggle with that and lost a lot of defensemen. So his main struggle now is actually going to be defense.
Gladiator.
Yeah, with Bodie, him and I made a trade yesterday. I was going hard after one of his friends. He told me to stop bidding against him, and he traded me Volchenkov. So it kind of worked out.
Did this happen to be Merkage GX30?
No, it was DC something or other. He was going about 5.5 mil. He asked who I was bidding against him. I put Boston. King got back to me, said shouldn't do that. But we made a trade last night, so.
Yeah, I had a similar.
You got a solid team.
I had a similar situation with Bodie earlier in the week, bidding on somebody he was trying to get. And he actually, he somehow found out it was me, and then he was trying to offer me trades and draft picks to stop bidding on him.
Yeah, I traded him a second-round draft pick for Volchenkov, hoping it'll pay off, because I need defense. That's why I was bidding the guy up so much. 18 million cap space, so why not?
Volchenkov is really good. I actually offered him a better trade for that, but he turned it down. So the fact that he took your second rounder is surprising. He was trying to take Wild, a second and a fifth from me for Volchenkov. I was like, no.
All right, I got a good deal. I'll take it.
You did. Volchenkov's really good.
They look like a solid team now that he's got his defense in order.
All right. Saber.
Yes, you guys left the goaltending to me. Okay, they only have one starting goaltender. Not good. Not good. Goaltenders can play 7 games a week. How many games a week do we play? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 10 games a week, so he's only going to be able to play 7. They're going to need another starting goaltender or backup. Start making some trades, boys, or you're going to be struggling way ahead in the long run.
Dugan?
Okay, starting goaltender, Barone, they're not going to have this problem anymore. Merkage GX30 is a veteran goalie from a league many of you may have known, the Dynamic Hockey League. Merkage was one of the top 10s in that league, and it's about time he's gotten back into our general system. I mean, the guy is pretty good. Last I knew, he was actually trying to switch to forward and play center, but as it turns out, Montreal got him to play goaltender for him. So I see them having no problem with that any longer. One more thing is run with me 609. Personally, I don't like the guy, but I think he's probably going to end up being their team's top goal scorer throughout the season through thick and thin. Bodie's doing a fine job. He's great to work with, and he's done good taking over Montreal.
All right.
Austin, we got a problem. You and me. You and me, commentator to commentator, not GM to owner. You need to stop being like, oh, people hate me. Oh, this guy doesn't like me. Oh, I have problems with this guy. Just shut up and talk about it, man. It's fucking annoying. Like, we don't care about your personal life with these guys. Just talk.
Right?
Very
All
annoying.
right.
Sounds good.
My life is so important.
All right. The team that's in 4th in the Eastern Division is Boston Bruins. 4th team in the Eastern Division is Boston Bruins. They've got 4 wins, 5 losses, and 1 overtime loss. Care to explain yourself, Gladiator?
Yeah, myself, we had mostly forwards play. We had 1 old membership. We had forwards playing goalie due to 1 goalie that can only play for his lunch hour break. Other than that, we should be solid. We'll be a low-scoring team, not too many minuses, but like I said, we got the defense now and goaltending figured out. Tried to trade a player. He wanted to be blacklisted. Yeah. Hopefully we do good.
All right. Andrews.
Boston, I mean, look at the numbers. 18 goals for. That needs to change for you there. Goals against is only 26 though, so not too much of a leap it seems. They just need to get scoring going, but KC and Gladiator -5 this week. The highest, most negative on the team right there, those two. What's going on, guys?
All right.
What's going on?
Yeah, come on, Gladiator.
Yeah, what's going on with that was I had 5 forwards playing in both games that we were minus in, which doesn't help when you got everybody going after offense. So, like I said, I got the defense now. I'm hoping plug in some guys will be all right.
All right. Saber.
Goaltending. Your number one goaltender needs to be better. At a .779, not good. Should go with Insane Negroes, even though his name's kind of bad.
Yeah, that's the problem with Insane Negroes is he can only play once a day and only on his lunch break. Yeah. Yeah. See, I didn't know that when I traded for him, but
he'll be a good goalie when he starts for you, though.
Now, absolutely. He's awesome.
Sometimes I wish we really could find out like some of the dirty laundry about a player before we got them. I have an honor system when it comes to trading. I like to tell people what's wrong with the player, why I'm getting rid of them. So this way, you're not getting any surprises. But I expect the other person to do the same. I ask them, and if they try to lemon my ass, I totally get fucking pissed.
Like I did with you, Dark, when you asked me about Gal. I said, yeah, some guy. I didn't realize he was quitting the league. I let you know as soon as I found out.
All right.
Speaking of that, guys, the commissioners keep it in their mind. Whoever makes bad trades, you ain't going to be coming back as owner next season if you keep doing that.
All right.
Awesome.
Austin Dugan.
Dugan losing his job before it even started. Dugan, you're up.
Chill. Well, anyways, Insane Negroes, you said he can only play on his lunch break? Who eats lunch at 7 and 8 p.m. at night? Does he live in like...
He works night.
Vampires.
So do you...
I eat at 7 o'clock.
He sent me a message.
But you call it lunch?
Well, he said he's on my lunch break. He sent me a message after I picked him up saying I can only play for my lunch break. Just let me know when.
Oh.
So he takes his hour lunch break when he plays.
That sucks. You know, just you're being analytically confusing. Just call it dinner break.
No, do what the hobbits do. Late lunch.
Second breakfast.
Early lunch, late lunch.
11 seasons.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, can we all calm down? Anyways.
Whoa! Hit that Dugan mute button.
Whoa.
Getting a little angry over here. Whoa, we need to calm
That
down.
escalated quickly.
Need to get the paddle?
Alright. The last team in the East, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. They went 4-5-1. Andrews?
Tampa Bay Lightning, clutch. Started out at defense. Think he moved back to forward.
Yeah.
Their team struggling. They got Datsuk. They have Paddleite in net. He's got to step up a little bit. They don't really have many people scoring for them, so there's a lot of struggles there.
Well, I'm calling Paddleite out early right now. On the forum, or on the stat website, next to his name, he puts Paddleite, ... number 1. Prove to me you're number 1, Pat Light. Prove it. You're gonna put it on the stats site and give yourself a little kick and make yourself feel like you're number 1. You gotta put the stats up and you gotta prove it.
Alright. Gladiator?
Yeah, fair enough. You want to put your name out there as being number 1, prove it to us. As far as offense goes, they need the help. They need the help goaltending. It looks like they need an all-around team overhaul. Hopefully their owner can pull his head out his butt there and figure it out.
Alright, Saber.
First of all, nobody's number one. Schmitty Werben Jagerman Jensen is number one. He was buried with it on his grave. We all watched SpongeBob. Yes, number one.
He was number one.
He was
I
number
have
one.
no idea what you're talking
And
about.
mayonnaise is not an instrument.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What? What? You've never watched SpongeBob?
Dude, I'm
my
older
Come
than
on,
you.
man.
This is not a show that ever existed when I was a kid.
I don't care. My
SpongeBob.
dad's like 50 and he watches SpongeBob.
I'm not even going to touch that.
We got a topic. But to get back on topic, Pat Light is doing pretty well for his team. The only thing that brings him down for goaltending wise is their backup goalie who's really struggling. Just over a .7 on save percentage. Not good. Not good. That's like Mika Norton when he tried playing in the NHL. And what's with Blaze and Elmo not playing in a game? I just saw that. I scrolled down a little bit. I thought he'd be playing more games. I thought he'd be more active. What's going on? Anybody know?
I actually have the inside scoop on the Blazing Elmo situation. Some people from last season know his skill. Every one of his buddies know his skill. He may be a little bit underrated. But the reason he's not getting any playing time is because, he had worked the first week and he was still available for 4 games, yet he was not started at all on the games where he was available. Why? I don't know. Ask Clutch. Maybe Clutch is going bonkos a little bit. But, Elmo did request a trade from what I know. So any team needing a good right winger, please trade for this guy, get him on a team, get him playing time. He's a good player.
Trade for him. He's been released. He's in the free agent pool again.
Is he really?
All right, so for those who haven't,
Who's putting in a
those who
bid
haven't
right
figured
now?
it out yet,
Someone bid on him
KingHockeyPuck
already.
is now in the studio, and he's joining us. Welcome to the show, King. Welcome back for the second time.
Hey,
You have any announcements you'd like to make?
announcements? No. I thought
Well,
we were talking about
We are talking.
Well, Hockey Puck, there is a rumor going around that starting next week, trading will be changed to nightly trading instead of end of the week. Is this true or false?
We're going to give it a shot.
Okay.
Nice.
Right now, we have a new commissioner in the league, JV083, and it's our goal to have him help out with doing some of the trading, and then if he can do that consistently, we should be able to keep up doing trades every day.
Hockey Puck, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but I just have a couple questions. How do you choose?
Take your best shot.
How do you pick your commissioners?
He wanted to do it.
Okay.
They have to be French.
See, because you seem to have a very French trend going on. I didn't know if it was a fetish or if
Hey, that's racist.
That's
Get
not
out of here.
racist.
Hit the Dugan
That's
mute button.
stereotyping.
We don't need that.
Well, I'm just saying, they all seem to be French. They all do their job great. Actually, I think JV may be, not to dog anybody, he may be, your commissioner that's going to be on top of things. I've come to him with a couple things already, and he gets them done immediately and right there.
He's on every night. That's the most important thing.
Hey, Hockey Puck, you need a new commissioner?
Billy Austin.
Dugan, I don't think you can take the ego hit of having to be a player.
I'm kidding.
No, we'd hear about how every goal would be contested because he wasn't sure how it went in.
Right?
Oh, and hit a glove. Gotta redo it. Start it over.
Okay, let's continue instead of the ragging on Dugan.
Oh, you mean like you did in the first show?
Yeah, you.
All right. So we're all moving to Central Division here. We're going to start with the best team in Central, which is the St. Louis Blues. 8-2-0 on the week. What do you guys think, Andrews?
St. Louis is a strong team. We played them. We had a chance to beat them early. They ultimately ended up beating us. They have good defense. They have some good forwards. They're a plus 76 right now. Their goaltending, the collectively 2.2 goals against average, .817 save percentage. So the save percentage could be up a little bit, but overall, strong team.
All right, Gladiator.
Yeah, I agree. They have a strong team all in all. Their biggest concern would probably be goaltending. That's don't know much about them. Haven't played too many West teams yet, but hopefully moving on, we'll find out.
Saber.
I have nothing to say. My goalie column has been stolen again.
All right, KingHockeyPuck.
You know, I picked St. Louis in the pool to win it all, and they're doing very, very well so far. They've got a lot of players left from the Anaheim team last season, so they had a great core to start with, and I think that they are a well-run organization.
All right, Dugan.
Well, as predicted, Drift King and Fortese are obviously going to be leading this team, at least forward-wise. Goaltending? I can't remember who said their goaltending was sketchy or their biggest concern. I think so far, their goaltending out of every other team in the league that I've looked at so far has the best statistics. I mean, a 2.2 goals against average and a .817 save percentage collectively. I mean, their starting goaltender has a .823 and a 2.0 goals against. I mean, there's nothing really beating that. At least from what I've seen so far. We'll see as we go down the list, though.
All right, next team. Oh, hi, TF Extreme. What are you doing here?
It's a walk-on by TF
Right?
Extreme.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Hi.
Yeah.
We missed you.
Hey, guys, sorry, I got to bounce out of here. Gladiator out,
all
I
right,
guess.
later, Gladiator.
Guys, have a good one.
Wow,
Good job there, Dark.
Chris, you showed up at the perfect time.
Yeah, now we just gotta get Austin to leave.
Hey!
All right. So I'm just gonna put TF on the end of the queue here. TF, just letting you know, we're talking about teams, individual teams. So if you want to bring up statistics, you should go do that then.
Okay. Give me
The
a
next team
second.
we're talking about is Phoenix Coyotes. They went 7-3.
Can I go first? Can I go first?
He wants to talk about their goaltending.
Yes, I do.
Yes, Saber, you get to go first this time. Sure.
Yes! Terrible! Their goaltending, well, their starting goaltender is really good with a .911. That, I don't know how
That's
you pull that off.
insane.
That's
What? 911?
really freaking good. But, anybody who's, gonna play them, and they're starting fabulous, just start taking shots. I Swiss cheese. 7 goals against 3 games, or 3 games. His average is 7 goals against with a .553 save percentage. Just take shots. Oh, and Austin, didn't we played them earlier in the week? Didn't we? Did we play Phoenix?
I don't think so.
Okay, then we have 2 Biebers in the league then.
Yes. The
There's
other,
several.
yes, there are a few, which is pretty judgmental.
That's
Scary.
questionable. But I do believe we were talking about the in the preseason. We were talking about She Wants the Deke. We were talking about him and how he was going to be a top player. Right now he's 14. He's tied for the number 1 spot on his team, but with a defenseman. And with him being the only one that's really producing points besides a defenseman, really leaves me up for question on how well this team is going to do going later on.
All right, Andrews.
Phoenix, they lost 2 games. Well, the 2 of the games they lost were to St. Louis and myself. The game we played, they lost 7-3. They seemed really one line this week. They started out bad, but as you saw, ended the week with I think 5 straight wins. Was it?
I think so, yeah.
So they're working on it. But as previously said, one goalie really, the other goalie not doing so good.
All right. KingHockeyPuck?
Phoenix, like I say, their two best players are She Wants the Deke and Weaver. And I think that they're going to be top contenders. They'll be there right at the end, maybe conference finals. It's a good team.
All right, Dugan.
Well, as Gary said, they have He Wants the Dick and Hair Weave. Oh, I meant She Wants the Dick and Weaver.
Whoa, see? That's where you gotta hit the
Okay,
mute
we
button.
really do need a
Dude, you're
Dugan
such
mute button,
a jerk.
apparently.
I am kidding.
You're such a jerk.
I'm trying to be funny here.
That's not funny. That's terrible.
It's pretty fucking funny.
It's funny because you're only laughing at it. I didn't hear anybody else laugh. I heard a whoa, 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 whoa. Let's hold the brakes. We need to get a Dugan mute button going here, guys.
I'm laughing
It's
in
the
the
reaction
background.
that's funny, not so much what you're saying.
I know. Anyways, yes. She Wants the Deke and Weaver. They're gonna be leading this team, no doubt. Weaver's a great owner. I've had quite a few conversations with him, played all sorts of scouting games with him. Great guy.
Weaver's the
Point-wise, for a defenseman? Yeah,
No, Weaver's the
owner,
GM.
though?
She Wants the Deke
No,
is the owner.
Weaver's GM.
Oh. Duh, my
Where
bad.
are you?
Anyways, yeah,
Give her the
give her the
Deke.
Deke.
No, she wants the Deke. Don't give it to her. She just wants it. Giving
Yeah.
it to her is great.
Depriving her just makes her even more soggy.
What? No, it
Took
makes
a
her
very
dry. Oh my god, you
unnecessary
people are a virgin.
turn.
Just stop talking.
Alright, TF.
Not giving it to her. makes her-
TF, your turn.
Their goaltending could use a little help besides Beecrips, who's done phenomenal, like someone said earlier, with the .911 save percentage. And I played against him in the one game that Detroit played, and we lost 2-1 in overtime, and that's how good he was doing. We were getting a lot of shots on him, but almost won it. First shot in overtime, though. We had Henrique in that, which was terrible. Anyways, their first line, again, looks great, but the second line, questionable. If Nate's Bien and Voodoo Bien, I could see them on the second line doing good, but if She Wants the Deke separates him, then it wouldn't really work out. Defensively, Weaver plays well, Killing Time plays well. Not much else outside of that. They've got a strong first line, and I'd say Medicor second.
Detroit Red Wings.
That's my name.
The next team is the Detroit Red Wings. 6-3-1. I'll start off with
Yo.
TF Extreme because he's actually on the team. So explain yourself.
Hold up, give me a second. I gotta go to my team still.
You don't know your team?
I'm not very deep.
So this is why I said you shouldn't pick up TF Extreme right here. He doesn't even care what team he's on. He doesn't care about the people he plays with. Come on.
He'll be the LeClaire from last
I
season.
like play. Okay, wait, it's loading. Google Chrome's fucking me over right now.
Okay, well, I'll go first
Yep,
then since
Saber,
you're
go.
waiting. Okay,
Oh, screw.
goaltending. How many goaltenders you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Jeez.
5 goalies?
None of them
Oh,
really
5
play
people
goalie,
that played goalie.
except for one.
5 people. Okay, still, that's ridiculous. And then you said you had problems with Henrique and he's your starting goaltender?
He's not our starting goaltender, but because our starting goaltender was Oilers and he was not online ever.
Oh, so he's just completely unavailable all the time.
Not
Basically,
good.
So can you really can you call him a starting goalie? No.
we can call it Chestnut, me versus you, our starting goalie now. He's online.
Well, I
We
would
got-
like to hear your goalie a new one. 4 goals against average, .80 saves, not bad.
In
But
one
having
game.
4 goals against, 20 shots against, you need some defense, buddy. Same with you. Just kidding. No, you're
I
plus
was
2.
in that game. Come on now.
No, you need. Your defense is struggling. I do believe you're the only plus player on your team that plays defense. So,
Let's see.
try and get better defensive players because you guys need it. And find a goalie that can play for you that's not a forward.
We had Gregorius Poor. I liked him, but we traded him. We got a SHL legend. I don't know.
Yeah, Phil Legend at a -4, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Andrews.
Going over this team, you notice Henrique played pretty much a goalie. He's supposed to play left wing. Shows he played 8 games. I don't know how that's going to affect him this week coming up. Goaltending, I was talking to him. He said he had it figured out. I'm not sure about that. Defensively, I don't know. Right now, for your stats, it showed 3 defensemen played, but then again, you said you traded Gregorius. So we'll see how that goes this upcoming week.
All right.
We're talking about Detroit, my former Colorado team.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, somehow Henrique has managed to play 5 games in net as a forward. Just noticed that. He had 8 games total this week. But those games in net won't count.
Why won't they count?
You know, you laugh after you say everything, and it kind of reminds me of a Beavis or a Butthead.
Even though Austin just put it in, I think I have the mute button for Austin. Every time he talks, we'll just play this.
I can't hear anything.
I still see him.
I didn't hear anything.
I see him being contenders. They do have a decent team here, and they should finish strong.
All right, Dugan, your turn.
Well, I mean, Niedermeyer was a huge bidding war that happened in free agency in the off season. Not really turning out the way I thought he would. 2 games played, 2 points, -5. Pretty mediocre, if not below average. Henrique, start playing your position, buddy.
All right. The Chicago Blackhawks.
Aw, I didn't.
Before
What
we
about
start
me?
the next one, the Sabre game starts in 6 minutes, but my grandfather is coming over unexpectedly, so I gotta dip
All right.
out.
Later, Saber.
So, thanks for letting me be on the show, and remember, if Austin starts talking, just search the Benny Hill theme song and use it as the mute button, because all he talks about is nonsense.
All right.
I didn't even get a
You
chance
guys
to talk
next.
about my own
I
team.
gave you a chance, and you fumbled about. So,
Yeah, and then you said Sabres could go.
all right,
Well,
TF, if you have your information, then go now.
Well, I'd basically be repeating what everyone else was saying about like Henry playing goalie. I just wanted to turn to talk. It's not about the substance; it's about the chance.
Okay, next.
All right, then you're just wasting my time. Come on, kid. Chicago Blackhawks 6-4-0. Justify yourself, Andrews.
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you what I tell everybody else. My team is bipolar. 41 goals for, 41 goals against. We either destroy teams or get destroyed. We won 1 game and lost 1 game basically the whole week. So whoever said my team wouldn't go 500 for sure last week, you were
That was
wrong.
Bruins fan.
My
He's wrong
team
about everything, though.
Yeah. And I made a lot of trades, as Weaver likes to call it. I do fire sales. I brought in a whole new forward line that plays together. So we'll see how that works with Fournier, Demores, and another trade. I don't know if it went through. Oh, it did. Ovechkin 08. They all play together. So they're the French connection.
All right, KingHockeyPuck.
Chicago. If I were them, I'd play Howard in net from now on because he seems to be their only goaltender who can stop pucks. He's got a 2.33 goals against average, and the rest of the goaltending is abysmal. If they can get him in 7 games next week, they should finish with an even better record.
All right. Dugan.
Well, back on the goaltending, if you let Lehner play a couple games, I think he'll turn some heads and surprise some people. But I mean, Miller? Garbage.
Miller and I are not on speaking terms. He's been a problematic person. Hilton got fired from the goaltending position. He's playing defense, turning out good. Howie as I like to call him, yeah, he's going to be playing 6 to 7 a week. Me and him had a discussion. So,
Please tell me that whistle came through on the mic.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's great.
Alright. Maybe something we can talk about for future episodes is you controlling like little dings and sounds as we go. Like any real radio show would have. Alright, TF Extreme?
I'd say Chicago, goaltending wise, it's Howard and Leonard. Andrews, you should stick with that throughout the whole season. I'd recommend not trading them, unless you want to trade them to Detroit. Offensively, Bieber, Hertz, and Fournier turn out to be a good line. I don't know if you had them all playing on the same line, or if they just did good separately, but they are top players. Oh, and spelled good.
I also had B-Red on my team, traded him at the end of the week. He had pretty good points. Fournier on my team to start the week. That was with Pittsburgh, actually, so he was one of their top guys over there.
Okay. Defensively, it looks like Hilton's turning out well, and all your guys seem pretty balanced. The only guys that I could see with problems would be EBFS, maybe Dynamic Turtles, and Darmores, with not good plus minuses, and point wise, they aren't producing as much as your guys. So, oh yeah, and face off wise, you might need a little help with. You don't have a lot of wins compared to face off. I mean, it's above 50, I think.
Look at Controls and Spellgood's face offs. Controls 71%, Spellgood at 115 face-off, 62%. They're doing pretty good.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the bottom, overall.
Oh, collectively as a team, yeah, I had two other guys. Oh, yeah, but Demores wasn't on my team. He came from the Pittsburgh trade too, so you can't even include him. Spellgood and Controls really played center for me.
Okay.
Last team in the Central Division is the Nashville Predators. They went 4-4-2. Starting with Andrews again.
Nashville, I played them. They beat us. JV, they've got something turning around over there. They had a tough beginning to the week. They've had a lot of goaltending issues. Sorry to steal your topic. Not consistent with that, but seeing how they played last week and what they're doing to their team, I think they're going to turn it around.
KingHockeyPuck?
Yeah, I agree. Goaltending is probably their main thing that's holding them back. They got plenty of offensive power on that team. But the only goaltender I see that's putting up good numbers is Soupy. And I think they just picked up Chocolate Thunder. That should help them a lot next week. And for some reason, Dolph Ween has just imploded at net.
Yeah, they moved to the defense.
Normally, Dolph Ween has always been solid, but 7.5 goals against in 2 games. Looks like they're scared to play him in net again.
All right. TF?
Wait, give me a second.
Jesus Christ.
As soon as I mention the team, you should be getting ready for what you're going to say.
No, my thing's loading. My computer's being slow. I'm sorry.
Can you please leave fucking McDonald's?
Okay, it's loaded now. Yeah, Dolph Ween, he hasn't done well. I could see some of the yard guys doing well, like Soupy, he's doing pretty well. Chocolate Thunder could be a good, goalie. On offense, JV is doing well. JMT's also doing well. Denham, he's... correct me if I'm wrong. I saw he played center. I didn't know if he played left wing all the time now, but the one time Detroit played Nashville, we beat them 3-1. It was a very confusing game with what JV would call our toaster connections. So, all
right, Dugan.
Well, yeah, exactly. Their goaltending is just imploding this team. I mean, Dolph Ween is horrible. I mean, abgeschlossen ist und ein garbage disgrassen.
What?
He's fucking horrible.
You have to remember last year he came over to my team and we boosted his stats a little bit. We had decent defense in San Jose last season, so.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say, no more German, dude. No more.
That's something Run With Me 609 does. Don't be him,
Yep.
please.
I'm sure you're all impressed with your ability to use Google Translate, but please refrain from doing so in the future. Alright. So that's the end of the Central Division. Now we're moving west. Last division we're gonna cover. Western Division. We're gonna start off with the top team, Colorado Avalanche. 8-2-0. Andrews.
Well, look at their stats. 55 goals for, 17 goals against. That is the lowest goals against in the league. You can't really compare anything to it. You look at ferocious in net, 1.25 goals against average, 915 save percentage. Flexible pancake, my bad. 1.67 goals against average, 0.886 save percentage. Their goaltending is a definite strong point.
Alright. KingHockeyPuck.
IBs. Where did he come from? 6 games played, 34 points. He's really tearing it up. They seem to be a solid team all around. Excellent goaltending, defense, offense, and they survived the controversy of having 3 players blacklisted in 1 week.
Alright, Dugan.
Blackjack MVP. IBBZ. Ferocious. Good job.
TF Extreme.
Drew QC, great face-off runner, along with Blackjack. They've got good players all around, but just keeping them under, the game limit for the week is going to be their problem because, it wasn't much of a problem, only 1 game over for a few, but, you gotta stay on top of that. Goaltending's amazing, and that's about it.
Alright, San Jose Sharks. 5-5-0. I get to justify myself, so I'm just going to say this. My team had issues with, our backup goaltender didn't show up for a couple games. Another thing is that our forwards have been inconsistent as far as being all to the games that I scheduled them for. So, we didn't do nearly as well as I thought we would. But a lot better than a lot of people think we would. Andrews.
Yeah, like I said before, this team surprised me. Knowing you and knowing how you run the team and talking with you, I had a feeling you would turn this around, but there was a lot of speculation. You see DGK Shady this season going back to forward, not defense. He averaged 2 points a game. It's kind of good considering he played all defense last season. A lot of goals against, but you did win 5 games, so that is a big improvement.
Alright. KingHockeyPuck?
I really thought there'd be more offense coming out of here. You guys have had some problems. You've got maybe, 1 player averaging 3 points a game, and nobody has over 10 points yet. Goaltending is seeming to be struggling too. Looks like you guys have some work to do to get back in contention.
Dugan?
How you made it to 5-5 with this I'm not the right word. I can't even come together with the right word. RAF52. Probably your top defenseman, -11. What's up with that? What I say you do this week? Play some games, man. Don't just sit there and have your team play without you. I'd have you playing more games than Raf to see how it goes, because anything's better than a -11.
If you want to,
overall,
if you want to somehow make it so I can play while I'm working, then by all means.
By all means, I will. But, anyways, other teams with similar predicaments as you, such as New York and Philly, they're -58. You're -48. You're not doing much better, but somehow you still went 5-5. If you don't get things together, I have a feeling this may have been a lucky week for you.
In my defense, our wins have been solid. It's just when we lost bad. We had a couple of games where it was like 6-1, 8-2, just really bad losses. Our wins haven't been nearly as amazing. We've had some wins where we went like 5-1, 4-1, or I think it was both of them were 4-1. Anyways, like we don't have big wins, we just have big losses. That being said, moving on to TF.
Suggestion for work, try to organize a bring your Xbox to work day. Maybe they'll work, maybe they'll buy that. But anyways, with your team, goaltending needs to improve a lot. Like, Osgood and Gold Dude, I think we played before. I don't know if you got him in a trade or if we played you in the preseason. But we played him. He's a good goaltender. He will be able to anchor the line. He just needs to anchor the net. He just needs to be able to be consistent and not be a faint coma. Defensively, you guys, Raph, I know you've told me about him, Calypso, and I'll take your word for it, but he's not showing what you've told me. And I can see the lines where those, big losses are from, like, Big Papa, Shady. Shady I like. He's a good guy, but needs to work on his plus minus. Hopefully he won't turn out like me from last season. Or Strudel. Heaven forbid.
Or like 600 penalty minutes like you had.
I'm already working on it. I'm already leading the league, okay? But this is not about me. This is about San Jose. Actually,
right.
That's it.
Moving on to Vancouver. 4-6-0. Andrews.
Definitely an improvement with Ben taking ownership, although from my point of view, kind of seems like Killzone behind the scenes making some moves here, using Ben as kind of a puppet. They were really one-lined last week, and they played my team, and the one line that they did play was really good with Ben, AT Killen, and Killzone. They put up big points this week. So we'll see with the addition of Hopkins how they do this week.
All right, King.
Vancouver. Picking up a new owner so soon into the season really set them back. I think they're actually probably a better team than what the stats show. But like the others said, we all know that Ben is just kind of the administrator pushing the paperwork and really kind of trying to keep all of his top talent pleased on the team so they don't leave him.
All right, Dugan.
They have a lot of talent on the team. It's just a question of whether they're going to be able to pull it all together in the end. I mean, definitely a big hole at the goaltending. Fucking faint coma. Horrible. Me, Calypso, and TF Extreme know this better than anybody.
For those of you who didn't watch last week's episode about goaltending, you should go watch it and listen to what we say about Fancoma as well.
Oh God, do I want to know?
Fang's not terrible. He's not great either.
He is an old fart.
There's
consistently a second string goaltender.
There's night and day, and then there's night in like the North Pole. It doesn't end.
0.5 goals against average. That gives you a chance to be in every game, but he's not going to win any for you.
No, he's not. I mean, the dude's so old, his fingers are going to fall off soon. Come on.
Some frostbite or
because he's in the North Pole.
All right, TF Extreme.
Okay, goaltending we just covered. Offense, Hopkins, I don't know what's going on with him. He started off slow last season, I think, but that was because he was on our team and played like 2 or 3 games. But they've got first line magic with Killzone, Ben, and AT Killen. They seem to work very well together. And on defense, they've got some options for D. They've got Red Eye Jedi and Timeless that could work together probably. And Gregori's poor now. I'll miss him, but he's an amazing defenseman. He can play offense, defense. He's not a force forward like Snoopy, but he knows when to pinch and when to stay back.
All right. Last team, Oilers, or second to last team. Sorry. Alright, so Duke is gone. Moving on. Edmonton Oilers, 2-7-1. Andrews.
Well, a lot of struggles all around. 24 goals for, 46 goals against. Lost 6 in a row. Bad end to the week. Points-wise, nobody really getting over 2-something points per game, just barely. Like was playing goalie this week. He didn't do so well, and they have the new goalie, 10 mil for that goalie. That goalie is not showing that they are worth even 1 mil.
Alright, King.
Well, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but that goalie that he paid 10 mil for is our only female member in the SHL. And I've got to wonder myself, is this more of a personal decision putting this person on the team or a business decision? Because it seems like it was a personal decision because this person's not worth 10
No,
mil.
absolutely not. Alright, and TF.
I don't know if I'm trying to put pieces together in a puzzle in my head, but I think Leishan, the new goalie, is actually Leitch's sister. Because I remember in a conversation from last season, Leitch's club Kitten Fairies, he said his sister made it, and when I looked on his profile, the name was Sky. And on Leishan's profile, her name is Sky. I don't know, I'm just trying to put, pieces together, and that might be why you paid 10 mil for her, considering they're related.
The most overpaid player in the SHL.
I'm gonna say something here. Incestual question mark?
That is not kosher for radio. Alright, so moving on to the last team that we're going to talk about, the Minnesota Wild, 2-7-1 on the week. KingHockeyPuck, why don't you tell us about what happened?
Not anything good. I'll be nice to Bruins fan. He is new to being an owner, but most people who agree to be owner at least are good at playing NHL 13. Sorry, Bruins fan. He started out as a goalie, and that didn't work out, so he switched to defense, and we are still horribly struggling to stop people from scoring on us, and our offense is a mix of people who are good at club at 2s and 3s, and people who are mediocre at 6s. There's just no chemistry. It's not going anywhere.
Alright, Andrews.
Well, like King said, nothing seems to be going right. Bruins fan, well, he gets really mad really easy. He can't find anything right. Even Niemi is struggling, and he's a good goaltender. So,
it's like having Gilbert Gottfried as an owner. All he does is scream.
Now, I don't know what you're talking about, but...
It's like, why are you even yelling?
This reminds me of a story.
I asked for 2 lattes.
TF Extreme, you're
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Bruins fan did good in the one game that he played. He lost, but it was only 2 goals against, which is pretty good. Niemi, I think it's just defense. It's because Niemi is an amazing goaltender, as we saw last season. You've got, I'll admit, you have a lot of guys that are only -1, but then you've got a lot of guys who are minus double digits. King's on the border. I'm just King, your stats point-wise, you're doing good. Point-wise, you guys are doing...
I'm on a line with two other who are friends and hardly ever pass to me. It's like I'm just standing there watching the game on the ice.
Did you play with Strudel yet?
It's embarrassing. I've asked for a trade repeatedly.
Ask for a trade to Detroit, we've got an open spot.
I think he already gave a list to his owner because I've had a few conversations with Bruins fan already.
Oh, so we're not good enough for you? I see.
You're also a
I see,
player.
King.
You're not supposed to be talking
Keep that in
about
mind.
anything with trades. Just saying.
Food for thought. Come on now.
I don't share any trade information with my players. I don't talk to the players directly. It's against the rules. I'm very rule oriented. King can tell you about that in her season. I kind of went off when certain rules were broken, and yeah.
Yes, I even know that.
Let me ask this. Why is the commissioner of a league not sticking by his team? I understand this, but why is he giving a specific list of teams he would like to go to when he's a commissioner of his own league who should be supporting any team?
Why are there certain people I want to play with? Everyone has certain people they want to play with. I just want to play with people who have a chance of winning. I'm not trying to just get hooked up with my friends. I just want to go to an organization that has a chance.
Wait, King, you have friends?
Alright.
Okay.
So, moving on to the last segment, Ask Calypso. See, nobody posted anything on the website. I'll open the floor to you guys asking me questions if you guys want to hear anything that you want to hear from me. We'll start with Andrews. Any questions?
Not anything I can think
Alright,
of right
King?
now.
Nothing? Alright,
Nothing.
TF?
Given the first week, I know it's only the first week, but who do you think is gonna make the playoffs, and who do you think is not? And if after that question, who do you think would win the Stanley
in order
Cup?
to know who's going to make the playoffs, I really have to know how many teams are going to be making the playoffs first. So that then opens the question up to King, which is how many teams are moving on, and how many teams are being left behind, basically.
I can answer that in 1 second.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, I was just checking the rules to see if we posted it. I should add that it is the top 8 teams from each. Oh, it is in there. Yeah, top 8 teams for each conference will make the playoffs for a total of 4 playoff rounds, which brings me to the fact that I hate answering questions that are easily answered by reading the rules.
Oh, alright, well, I wasn't aware that was put into the rules, because there's no annotations that tell me when the rules have been updated. Oh, there were? I didn't notice. I don't pay attention to the fucking rules. I thought I knew.
It said underneath. It said underneath.
Wait a second, I thought you were a rule, like, a
I
rule
am the rule guy. I read the
like-
rule book up and down the very first time
You're
I became a
contradicting.
freaking GM.
The rules were updated at the beginning of January, and we swore we would not change any of those rules until the end of season 2. So no mid-season rule changes.
But you
Now that
did.
Alright, anyways, so if that's the
change.
case, that means 16 teams move on? Did you say?
Oh, so
Or-
basically everyone but 4 teams make the playoffs.
Or was it 8 teams? You said 8 teams per conference, right? Because you said 4 rounds of playoffs, so that would require 16
Yep.
teams total. So that means there's only 4 teams not making it. So it'd probably be easier to say who I think isn't going to make the playoffs at this particular point in time.
Oh yeah,
Then,
probably.
Minnesota.
alright, not to throw teams under the bus, but potential teams that won't make it, to the pretty much guaranteed playoff run that almost everybody's going to get. The Oilers,
San Jose.
Minnesota, Vancouver, the Rangers, the Islanders, and the Flyers, and maybe even the Lightning are pretty much the potential teams that I don't think will make it.
And you know, I think Washington and St. Louis aren't going to make it either. You know, just I mean, look at them. They're obviously the worst team.
Your
in the league.
jokes are about as dry as the Sahara Desert.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Alright,
Okay,
so.
then. Okay, but who's going to win the Stanley Cup then? What's your early season prediction?
I'm sticking with what I said last week. I think Colorado's
jokes.
got it. I think Colorado has it. They're gonna make it. They're gonna do some work. I think my Stanley Cup prediction has changed though. If Washington doesn't end up getting any hangups or problems, and nobody's ego gets too big for their shift, then I see Washington and Colorado going at it in a very spectacular Stanley Cup.
Well, it's going to be a shootout.
Be brutal. It's going to come down to which team can stop the opposing team from scoring, and less which team can put up the most points. So, yeah, that's my predictions there.
Who's going to win the Hart Trophy this year?
Which one's that?
Like, who do you? I think that's like the
MVP. If he
thing.
keeps it up, IBBZ all the way. If he doesn't slow down, that guy's gonna get MVP of the season without a problem. He's dominating all over the place in forwards.
Yeah, I'm on the home screen leaders in skates. All I see is
All across the board.
IBBZ.
Alright, so that was the face-off circle.
I will admit, save percentage, I see DGK Shady goals against average.
That doesn't
1.
count.
You-
That's why I didn't talk about goaltending in the early off.
And Bonarelli was
Also
shut
doesn't
out.
count.
Congrats, Dugan.
Alright, so any closing statements, Andrews?
Nope.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. I had fun today, sitting here, talking, listening to random comments and inappropriate things as well.
KingHockeyPuck, closing statements and outro.
Here's my closing statement. Everyone go to the rules section and you can see the last time that they were updated. The last update was on Sunday, January the 6th. They haven't changed since then.
TF Extreme.
Well, good luck, and can someone please convince my owner to let me play goalie more than one time a week? I mean, I'm probably better than Yemi. I mean, come on, look at me. But I'll maybe see you guys next week if I'm awake. I woke up midway.
Please be awake for this next time.
Well, normally we used to do it at 3.
But I've been telling everybody I'm recording
back
earlier for editing reasons, because I need more time, and also because I've been doing stuff on Saturdays. So, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not a very good listener.
It's called an alarm clock. Use it.
sorry.
Alright, so that was the face-off circle.
Whoa!
That was a face-off circle. Join us next week when we talk about week 2. How the season's going so far at that point. That'll be the quarter mark, so we'll definitely see some teams getting ahead and other teams falling behind in everybody's race to the Stanley Cup that hasn't even really started yet because we're only a couple weeks in. We also might talk about some random things. I don't think they're going to be doing a full team breakdown next week, as they seem to take a lot of time. If you want to be a guest of the show, send me a message on the website. I cannot express this enough. Everybody keeps asking me in all the wrong spots. Asking me on Skype, asking me in the chat box. I don't give a fuck. If you talk to me directly on the Xbox or anything, don't give a fuck. If you want an official invitation, you gotta send me a message to my PM inbox on the website. That is where I make my decisions on who's gonna be on the show. That being said, please follow the rules. Please ask me questions on Ask Calypso. I need people to tell me what they want me to say, cause I like answering your questions. If you want to send me anything, the official email for the show and for the YouTube channel is Supreme Hockey League XBL at gmail.com. So I'll see you guys next week. Until then, stay frosty.